do you have any opinions about the
Well,
Don Van
I
Natta
do,
book?
and I've been hearing a lot of stuff, a lot of things and stuffs that I do not like, nor do I care for on your program today.
Okay.
First of all, Don Van Natta is a fiction-writing, muckraking yellow journalist. Now, I'm preemptively smearing him, just a little preemptive smearing, because I'm uncertain as to what he plans to write in this so-called book of his.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I'm just saying that Van Natta better watch out and not report anything that I don't want reported and publicly known, like extra kids, relationships with movie starlets, condition I call extreme herpes. I don't want any of that known and publicly out there. Now, I am attempting to intimidate Don Van Natta, and I'm not threatening him, but I will beat him up personally.
Oh, gosh.
That sounds like a threat.
That's assault.
And if he talks about me getting reverse cowgirl preferred seating from a 96 Little Rock gate agent back in 1996, I will make sure that he will be nervous every time he starts his car.
Oh, my gosh.
Jerry.
You can't make threats like that.
Well, just think about that, Don Van Natta. Think about every time you get in your car, you don't know if when you turn it on that this is the time that I've hidden a king cobra inside that car that's trying to strike and you make it right on red.
That's how you would do it?
That's exactly right. That's exactly right. Now, look, I am okay with him writing a book, but I want him to write a book about my other businesses, because I have many businesses. I'm
Yes.
a very wealthy man,
Mm-hmm.
You're very involved.
very involved. My hospitalities, I do hospitalities businesses,
Uh-huh.
my real estates,
Uh-huh.
oil and gas.
Mm-hmm.
I also have other interests, like knockers and titties.
What?
Jerry.
It's a store that I own that sells door knockers and sandals. It's TIDDIES.
Okay. Those.
That is
yes.
a sandal. Yeah, okay.
Look into it.
That's a weird store that would sell door knockers and sandals.
Well, it's look into it. It's there. We got one at the Star.
Okay. We'll look into it.
Also, I've heard y'all talk about this crazy idea that Rhino Eric Johnson, and that's what he is, Republican in name only, has about getting another NFL franchise here in Dallas.
Yeah.
Yeah, what do you think about that? Like the Chiefs moving
let me
here.
tell you, Jub, I've done some research,
Okay.
and I have discovered that Dallas, and by Dallas I mean Dallas and Fort Worth, and by Dallas and Fort Worth I mean Dallas, Fort Worth, and all the surrounding cities. I've done some research, and I've discovered that Dallas cannot support two NFL teams.
Oh, you have?
Well, how do you know?
Well, as is my usual, my research consisted of my initial split-second gut reaction that I then act upon.
It's not research.
I will not permit the Hunt family to move the Kansas City Chiefs to Dallas. First of all, the name alone. You don't think it'd be awkward to have a team called Dallas Kansas City Chiefs?
Well, that would be weird, yes.
That's too awkward.
They dropped the
Don't make
Kansas City
sense.
part, I think.
Also, Chiefs are Indians, and Cowboys and Indians don't mix. Wrong then, wrong now.
Okay.
All right. Now, I will not let that team get here. Now, if they do move to Dallas, you will see a hostile takeover that is committed by an anonymous group of investors that will buy that Dallas Kansas City Chiefs team and turn them into the Dallas Cowboys #2. So it will be a two-pronged NFL team here.
Wow.
Kind of like Chili's too, huh? I guess.
Yes, exactly. And that's what's going to happen. Now, I'm telling you guys right now, I don't want you talking anymore about the Chiefs moving to Dallas, and I don't want you talking about Don Van Nutter.
Okay.
Okay, now if you do, you will be nervous every time you start your car.
Okay.
When you hear that hissing sound up under the passenger seat.
Why is that your method of choice?
Now I got to get Jerry Jr. to his pediatrician because he got a problem with his pecker.
Okay.
Right.
He's a hunt and peck typer, and he cut the tip of his main finger, so he can't really type right now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Plus, his penis is crooked. He's worried. His mama's worried about that.
All right.
All right. Good morning to you.
Morning to you. There goes Jarrah.
What's red and tastes like blue paint? Red paint.
Okay.
Why do ducks have feathers?
Why?
To cover their butt quack.
Okay. Yeah.
Why doesn't Oedipus use foul language?
Why?
Because he kisses his mother with that mouth. He
God.
just refused to use foul language. Why did the non-binary miner go west?
I don't know.
Because there was gold and then there hills. Then there hills. Non-binary. Great. Okay.
Them
there. Okay.
Moving on.
We're a
Took
little
us a while.
slow.
It took us a while.
Where does the suicide bomber go when they die?
Where?
Everywhere. It's
God.
a lot of cleaning up. It's just you got to get a
lot of cleanup
hazmat
there,
team.
pal.
You just really do, pal. It's just biohazard team. Did you guys know? I don't know if you're into history and all sorts of history. Did you guys know that there was actually a vision impaired dinosaur?
There was.
Yes, it was the I don't think he saw us.
Okay. I didn't know that.
What's the difference between light and hard?
Light and hard. What?
I can get a line on.
Okay.
Okay.
Norm.
I'm getting a little up there and there.
It's a little too much. We don't have to know.
You know, speaking of, the other day, my wife, Mare Bear, Mare Bear, she screamed, "Norm, have you not heard a single bleeping thing I've been saying?" And I was like, well, that's a weird way to start a conversation. But, you know, say what you want about deaf people. Seriously, you can. It's consequence free.
Yeah,
Just
I guess
completely
so.
consequence
Won't
free.
hear you.
It's great. Hey, speaking of Mare, the other day I was telling her, you know, I'm retired now, so I'm always, you know, just hanging around and listening to neighborhood gossip and everything. The other day I was telling her that I heard that the lawn guy has slept with every woman on our street except for one. And Mary said, I bet it's that stuck-up bitch at 419. I went to the doctor the other day, and the doc was about to perform a prostate exam, and he says, look, it's a little weird, but it's just a routine medical procedure. Try not to get aroused, Steve. And I said, my name's not Steve. And he said, I know, that's my name.
God.
Speaking of Steve's, Stephen Hawking goes on a blind date, and he comes home later that night with cuts and bruises and broken ribs, and his glasses were smashed. You know why?
Why?
She stood him up. It was,
Oh, my
Oh,
gosh.
my
shouldn't have done
God.
that, but,
Oh, my gosh.
Henry Winkler is flying from New York to Los Angeles on a plane. It's going from New York to Los Angeles. And this very beautiful air hostess approaches him.
Air hostess?
And she asks, would you like some headphones? And so Henry, he unbuckles his pants and says, yes, please. And by the way, it's pronounced Fonz. It's that's Fonz. Oh, speaking of our neighborhood.
Okay.
We were?
A few minutes
Yesterday,
ago,
I got caught peeing in our community pool. And the lifeguard yelled at me so loudly, I almost fell in. It was, I don't know
Norm.
why, he was very offended. I don't know what.
That is not a urinal.
What did Cinderella say when she got to the ball?
What?
Norm!
What the heck?
God!
A 4-year-old and a 6-year-old, they're sitting upstairs in their bedroom, and the 6-year-old says to his brother, hey, I think it's time we start swearing. And the 4-year-old, he nods in agreement, and the 6-year-old says, okay, so when we go downstairs, I'm going to say hell, and you say ass. So the 4-year-old, he nods in agreement. So Mom calls him down for breakfast. Boys get to the table. Mom says, "What would you like for breakfast?" 6-year-old kind of snickers and says, "Oh, hell, Ma, I think I'll just have some Cheerios." Mother slaps the 6-year-old so hard that he falls out of his chair, goes crying, running up to his room. And Mother turns to the 4-year-old and says, "Well, young man, what are you going to have for breakfast?" 4-year-old says, "I don't know, but you bet your ass it's not Cheerios." He learned his lesson there. And finally, why does Dr. Pepper come in a bottle?
Why?
Because he and his wife are doing in vitro.
Okay,
right,
Norm,
Norm.
we're going to have to ask you to leave.
Let's get him out of the studio.
Man, he's working blue these days.
He is.
He's retired. He doesn't
He
care.
doesn't have to do that.
Are you someone who tries to drive while distracted by your phone? Someone who props it on the steering wheel or peeks down at it for a glance? Or just scrolls and scrolls? If so, you could be the next person to get into a fender bender, get a ticket, veer off the road, or even cause a crash that kills you or someone else. Enough already. Put the phone away or pay. Paid for by NHTSA.
Wilson, you sent the game-winning email at the buzzer, avoiding a 4:55 meeting on everyone's calendar. How did you do it?
I got a huge assist from Grammarly, an AI writing partner that helped me make my point.
96% of Grammarly users say that it helps them craft more impactful writing. Would you agree?
Grammarly helped adjust my tone to navigate tough work conversations. And it works everywhere I write, so I can quickly communicate effectively.
Your teammate used Grammarly to summarize an important document, making a 3-pointer. How did he do it?
It only took one click. When everyone uses Grammarly, everything just makes sense.
You made an
This song, hopefully it takes you back to about 20 years ago or more. When the rant...
Or it just means fun now.
True. In which we gather the troops from the rant, led by Gordon Keith, myself and Dave Lane, and we get together every Thursday, and we do rant things. And I wanted to present this to you guys because I have dipped my toes into this program, this much highly publicized program, and I did not know that there was such scandal attached to it. So you guys are familiar with David Benioff and D.B. Weiss. Those are the two guys that created Game of Thrones.
Hunter.
Yes.
All right?
Mm-hmm.
They signed an exclusive deal with Netflix that was going to pay them a king's ransom, and they are the producers, content creators in Hollywood. And so they were looking for their next project.
He's the hot name now around Valley Ranch.
Mm-hmm. And the next project ended up being a television show that debuted about a week and a half ago called 3 Body Problem. So they've been working on this now for about 4 full years. They acquired the rights to this show, and I watched episode 1. I don't know if anybody on this show right now has currently seen this. Any of it? Anybody in there? Ham?
No.
I watched the trailer and saw that it was in Chinese, so I bailed.
God. I give up.
He only buys American.
You're
Uh-oh. Oh, medic,
whoa.
medic.
Whoa. You're a true patriot, Dave.
Yes.
So they acquired this this TV show. Oh, my God, I'm dying.
Oh, no.
Heimlich?
Here, drink some of this baby blood.
Corby Davidson, the ticket.
Yeah, you really need. You're not getting enough baby blood.
I'm not.
You need baby blood, Corby.
I know. So let's go back to 2014, and this is where all this scandal started. Because back in 2014, there is a Chinese billionaire. And the Chinese billionaire...
You don't have to say it like that.
...is a guy named Lin Kui.
He really leaned
Lin
into
Queef?
Lin Kui. Not Lin Queef.
It's a very common name in China.
So Lin Kui is he owns a gaming company in China. He became a billionaire and was lauded all across China for being one of these young entrepreneurial types.
Did he make Candy Crush?
He could have. I don't know exactly the extent of what he did, but I do know that he was a billionaire several times over based on his gaming industry. He wanted to branch out and do other things, and so he had read the book, which was titled, it's a Chinese novel, a novel emanating from China.
No disrespect.
Called The Three-Body Problem. It was eventually developed and just now called Three-Body Problem, but the novel was called The Three-Body Problem. He fell in love with it. And he wasn't the only one. This was a sci-fi home run novel. And so he, being a billionaire, decided, I'm going to take the rights to this and I'm going to ship it to whoever will buy it and take the highest bidder. I want this to be the Chinese version of Star Wars, and I want this to be my legacy beyond the video games. And so he hired this huge staff of people to go out and help try to find the right buyer/developer to turn this novel that he fell in love with into something that would leave its mark, which is where it is right now. But the process that it took,
why didn't they name it Chinese Star Wars?
That would have been easier.
Do you think that would have got you more into it?
Yeah.
It's a confusing name, at least from where I sit now.
Yes, it is. And it's a pretty confusing show. So he hired this one guy back in 2017. And the guy's last name, we'll just call him Yao. Zhu Yao is his name. And so Yao was part of this team that was out there shipping this novel. And according to reports, he wasn't doing a very good job. And so Lin Queef then decided to part ways with him, as one would do in these situations. If you're not doing your job and there's billions of dollars potentially at risk here or at stake, then we're going to let you go. And so he gets fired, essentially. This Yao guy does. So instead of just going about his life, and Yao was an attorney as well, so he had a second job. It wasn't like he was destitute after being fired. He did not take kindly, though, to being fired. And so as they're still shopping this around, before they made the deal with Netflix and David Benioff and D.B. Weiss, this Yao guy decides, I'm going to get even. And the way he got even was he built his own lab. And why did he build a lab? Well, he was obsessed with Breaking Bad. It was his favorite show. And so he thought that he would build this lab, and within it, he would test poisons over the course of a year to eventually poison and kill Lin Kui. Not only Lin Kui, but the people that supplanted him in his job. So he was going to murder all of these people. One, the guy that had him fired. Two, the people that kind of replaced him. And so for a year, this guy sets up a lab. He starts buying poisons on the dark web. He gets cats, dogs, birds, rats in his lab, and he starts testing out these poisons and killing all these animals. It's crazy. He did not kill E.A. Pigeon, unfortunately. And so he finds this cocktail that he thinks is perfect, and he hides the poison, which is mercury-based and strychnine-based and all the stereotypical things that you hear about that would kill people. He hides them, somehow he infiltrates the offices of Lin Ji or Lin Kui and puts these probiotics disguised as his normal medicine in his office. He puts poison in the guy's whiskey, in his water source, all of it. And poisons this guy to the tune of he is rushed to the hospital. This is a billionaire. This is a guy who's got security team. He's got everything. He starts feeling sick one day, rushed to the hospital. 10 days later, dead.
And what year was this?
This was 2020 or 2019. Yes. So he kills this guy whose only dream is to, and this guy, by all accounts, is a wonderful, wonderful guy. He just ran into the wrong guy to fire. And then he poisoned the people that took his job. They all end up living, but within the 10-day lag time of this guy being poisoned, they immediately trace it back to this guy's lab, this nefarious lab. Well, he won't tell what the poison is that he put in this guy's cocktails. Therefore, they don't know what the antidote is. So he dies. And last month, this guy was sentenced to death. And so the one guy's dream was to make this show, period, end of story, and then he never saw that come to fruition. I think he saw it sold to Netflix. His name is listed as an executive producer, but he obviously never saw, what his dream actually was. And now this other guy, the other 3 or 4 people that were poisoned, they all ended up living, and now this guy was sentenced to death in China. So
Chinese death.
Yeah.
China.
He
should have to He should have to eat all the poison in his lab.
They said 5 toxins were detected in Lin's body, including mercury and tetrodotoxin, which is an extremely potent poison found in pufferfish. Which I've always heard of that, the pufferfish being incredibly toxic to the touch or the bite or whatever it was. And this guy extracted the poisons from the pufferfish and put it in all of his goodies to poison him. It's
goodies.
Absolutely crazy. So, yeah, it wrapped up the Chinese media outlets, and it was the story.
Whoa. So
in honor of him,
the Game of Thrones guys wanted to make this show after that?
No, this took place. They had already bought the rights to it. And so by the time this was all going down, this guy was murdered. So right at the outset of him selling this to Netflix and D.B. Weiss and David Benioff, that's when the poisoning took place. And so, yeah, I mean, they continued to make the show.
Yeah.
So in honor of Mr. Queef, we should all watch Three Body Problem despite the fact that it's in Chinese.
Or take poison.
I will say this, having watched the first episode, it is fascinating. And I know you
Who plays the pufferfish?
Okay, Gordon, you're confusing. Yeah, Mel Gibson plays the pufferfish, if that would make you happy.
Wow.
I know. What a stretch. What a reach. Okay.
Wasn't there a Simpsons episode where Homer was eating the pufferfish
like
at a sushi restaurant?
Early one, right?
Like the blue pufferfish?
Like season 1 or 2.
Yeah. Because it is a delicacy, and that's the thing is like the sushi chef, like he has to be certified to fillet this pufferfish because if he cuts the gland that has the poison in it, he'll kill his diners.
Yes.
And he was having sex with Mrs. Krabappel.
The pufferfish?
No, the chef.
The Chinese chef, too, right?
I think he was Japanese, Corby. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah. Tough miss.
Yet one you make all the time.
I do not.
Yes, you do.
Okay, so we need to introduce you, Gordon, now to either underwater EA or pigeon EA. Here is where this sound emanated from.
Here's where the drama comes. Who will come in 6th and who will 7th?
Yeah.
Who?
Wait, he did that accidentally?
Yes.
Here's where the drama comes. Who will come in 6th and who will 7th?
This was on his podcast. He was previewing the April Fool's Open.
Yeah.
And he didn't edit that out?
Apparently not. And so when played in rapid succession, imagine yourself in Central Park, Gordon, feeding little EA pigeon.
As it waddles around and... Oh.
Now this begs the question, though. Has EA Pigeon ever met a waterfall frog?
We don't know that. But we also don't...
Wasn't EA the original waterfall frog?
Of course he was.
We don't have EA Pigeon eating like bird seed or whatever they eat. We have EA Pigeon eating brisket and like giant whole honey hams and things
Big
like that.
turkey legs.
Right.
But only after dusk.
Yes. EA Pigeon still observes Ramadan.
I'll tell you what, man. Pound for pound, who produces
That's a lot of pounds?
Who produces more content than EA Sports?
Precipice?
He's given us okay, fair. But this guy's in the conversation.
Yeah.
He's been a real find for the ticket.
Yeah, and Gordon, I don't know if
report for April 8th.
I don't know if many people caught wind of what went down yesterday in a very, very short pop-up character, but Head Wound Rosengarten made a very brief appearance.
Yeah, he was telling us that Rick likes the air phases.
Wait a minute.
I like I like candy.
He does.
So Rick rewards you with Reese's Pieces when you do a good job?
Sometimes
that's how Rick leads him to remotes. Just a trail of Reese's Pieces.
He's like
follow
E.T.
me. Because he can't drive with the head wound and all, right? And
right, because it's oozing and bleeding and everything.
Right, so he just walks around with Reese's Pieces and drops them on the ground for Head Wound Rosengarten to access. But he loves them.
So wrong.
Poor
he
Craig.
loves them.
Leave Craig alone.
Well, yeah, I know.
I mean, he looks.
I'm
he
defending
looks
him
great.
here.
No, you're not.
Craig looks great.
Yes.
He does.
I know.
He doesn't talk well, but he looks great.
Extremely fit.
Whatever.
All right, Gordon.
Yes, indeed.
Twitch tonight?
7:35. Yes, on Twitch. And I can't. Is what's his name? Elon warring with Twitch or something? Because I can't post a link to my Twitch.
Are you
on
serious?
Twitter. I've been trying all day, and it will not post it.
Huh.
Yeah, I think he banned all other social platforms.
I don't know
Okay.
that he is into the warring type conduct on Twitter.
Got Head Wound Bob now.
I might have gone to screensaver there just for a second. I had to move the mouse real fast to wake back up.
But yeah, like when people were migrating to Blue Sky, like the Twitter alternative, and people would try and post their Blue Sky links or invites.
Yeah.
He would erase all those.
So
But
is
I
it
hadn't
official?
heard about him doing it with Twitch.
I haven't either.
Anyway, my Twitch handle for the P1 Hangout is twitch.tv/actual Gordon Keith.
All right, tonight at 7:30-ish?
7:35. Yeah.
7:35. All right, dude, thank you very much. There he
Thank
goes.
you.
The great
Thank you.
Gordon.
Thanks for my baby gift.
Oh, yeah. Tell me what it is when you get a chance.
Yeah, I'll tell you
You'll
off the
love
air.
it. You'll love it.
All right.
The countdown is on for the 2024 NFL Draft, presented by Bud Light, live from Detroit, and you can attend in person for free.
Welcome to the NFL Draft.
See the next NFL stars and experience the ultimate NFL fan festival, featuring live concerts, interactive games, player autographs, and more. The NFL Draft, presented by Bud Light, April 25th through 27th.
Full-on entrepreneur, your own boss?
I guess you could say that. Yeah, we'll go with that. I like
Okay.
that.
Okay.
Because I'm trying to figure out how to say this. But yeah, I'm on a production company.
Nice. Okay.
Masterpiece Productions.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Very good. Before that, the Washington Post. Before that, the Minneapolis Star-Tribune.
Amazon,
Before that,
done Amazon.
Yeah, okay. And before that, Arizona State. Before that, Irving, Texas.
Yes.
Where Little Master grew up.
Listening to the ticket, listening to you on Bad Radio, listening to you guys on the hard line.
That's so
Be in
cool.
my backyard after I got home from school, shooting hoops, listening.
That's so random.
I know it is.
It's so wild.
It is, because you got to understand, there's no other black kids around me who listen to the ticket. So it's just like, I'm like trying to have all these conversations and all these bits and stuff, and it's like, I'm just sharing this with me. So that's why I used to be on the Bad Radio message board.
Yeah.
And
You were?
like a 13-year-old kid on the Bad Radio message board. Just
God.
like wanting to get into all the bits and stuff. And look at me now. Like, you guys have influenced a lot of, like, how I operate. So this is an honor.
That's so great. Well, I don't even know. Do you have any idea how our paths crossed the first time?
I have no idea.
Just because, and this may go back to the 2011 finals or something. I don't know. Or you're a huge Mavs and Rangers fan. I assume it probably goes over to the Cowboys and Stars. I don't have any idea. But you're a huge DFW sports guy on Twitter. And then you're hanging out with Jason Terry or Terrell Owens or something, and I'm like, okay, this is not just some P1. This is a guy who's got something going. And I guess whatever clout you had is like, I got to figure out what this dude's deal is. And I don't know where it started, but I feel like you and I have been friends a long time.
No, we have, man. And, even going back to listening when Liverpool talk and Premier League talk that we did, I'll be at the Londoner on Sunday for Arsenal Man City. And you got a big one, too, Liverpool Brighton, too.
Absolutely.
But, yeah, man, just always being a big fan, following you guys, and, just going through the beat grinding. And I think that's how it came about. Covering the Commanders for the Washington Post. Which
that's right.
At the time, I was an objective beat writer, and it was pretty easy not to be a Cowboys fan then. So I was able to push that aside. And but I always was a big fan. Obviously, Dallas Media and everyone was here, and it's been great, man.
So, you're saying growing up and graduating in 2009 from which Irving school?
The Academy of Irving, which I think now is Jack E. Singley. I had a brief 1-month stint at MacArthur's high school football team.
Oh, yeah. How'd that go?
Didn't go well. Wasn't even there long enough for the team pictures. I think I tore my knee on a special teams play in practice the day before the first game.
Yeah, and you're like, I'm out.
This isn't for me.
Yeah, I'm done. I'm done. So were you, you're at that age in 2011 when they didn't do it, obviously.
I was there.
You were?
Yeah. So I was interning for the Arizona Diamondbacks my freshman year of college, and then sophomore year at ESPN Dallas. Happened to get really cool with the sales team of the Diamondbacks. So they were like, yo, we usually get an allocation of tickets, playoff tickets for each team. We know you're a big Rangers fan. We'll hook it up. I have now been to 11 Rangers World Series games.
Whoa. Oh, my God.
As a fan. So 2010, I was at Game 1 and 2 in San Francisco. 2011, I went to all 4 in St. Louis. So games 1, 2, 6, and 7.
You were there for game 6.
I was there for game 6. And my phone had died during the 9th inning. And my friends still tell me the story to this day in college. I thought it was over. I closed my eyes. I was yelling and screaming, and all of a sudden, the entire crowd is yelling and screaming too. I'm like, yo, what the hell happened? And I look up, and I see Nelson Cruz throwing the ball in the infield. I'm like, something happened. I missed it. And unfortunately, we all know what happened.
So did you ever think, because whenever that happened, and we're here at this, like we were saying in the break, it's such a celebration here, and it's weird. Like it's for someone who grew up in Arlington like I did, it's weird seeing this. Because I never thought, especially after 2011, I'm like, that was the shot.
Yes.
That's it. You get one shot at one of these things, especially the Rangers. It's the Rangers.
Yes.
And that was it. And so until literally the last out last year, I'm like, it's never going to happen. And now it's this weird cathartic moment for everyone here. Like we were trying to talk about, this is even cooler than Game 1 of the World Series because everybody's happy.
Yeah.
Everyone's happy.
Everyone's happy. Everyone's ecstatic. And the way the season happened last year, too, no one predicted it.
Yeah.
No chance.
No one expected the Rangers to win the World Series last year. It was, I think more so we were just looking for progress.
Yeah.
And just make it to the postseason. Make it to October. Give us something to
first
build
year
on.
of Boch. Like,
exactly.
Let's reboot. Let's see where we go.
Let's see where we're at. It's similar how we feel about the Mavs right now.
Yes.
Let's make a run. Let's see what we can do. No one's expecting the Mavs to win a title,
Right.
But, they got that look where you're just like, hey, let's just have a fun ride. And the ride ended up in a place in which you're wearing a gold tee on your head.
Right.
It's insane, man.
It's so insane, and there is because of the heartbreak with regularity with these teams, you begin to sort of almost begin coping before they lose, and you start to justify in your head that this has been a really cool run, like down 3-2 to Houston. You spend the next 48 hours with that off day and be like, I can't be mad about this. And then, you're just like, wow. I kept selling them short because I was protecting my heart a little bit,
Understandable,
right?
though.
Yeah.
Understandable.
Yeah.
I was at all 3 ALCS games here, too. And I'm not going to lie to you guys. Up until the World Series, my friends thought I was the jinx. Because I've seen, 2 Rangers postseason wins up until that point. I was 2-11. So my friend's like, bro, stop going. And I'm like, nah, we're I don't know, just maybe me just being ignorant, but I didn't want to miss the moment and when it happened.
Right.
So I just kept going. And after these 3 games, I was like, it's over.
Yeah.
They win those 2 games, back on it. And coming here for Game 1 of the World Series, the way that game played out, you're in the 9th inning.
He left.
I don't blame you, bro. I genuinely don't. But also,
leave me alone.
Bless your heart.
Yeah, I know.
That is the funnest, best experience of a game
I've
ever been to.
Yeah, the text that I got, I'm like, wait, no way. No way.
Yo.
Me and Dave had a moment.
Yeah.
We had a moment, man.
I had a friend of mine who was in town because it was Rams Cowboys that weekend too. So she was in town. She works for the Rams. So I had to actually think, I was like, yo, come up. And at that point, she was the optimistic. In the 6th or 7th inning, I'm like, this is over. Like, they're not going to win this game. I've seen this time and time again. It's like, no, have hope. Then when Seager hit that, I just threw my cups in the air. I didn't know what else to do.
And you know what? Once he tied it, I never had a doubt after that.
Yeah, we felt it was inevitable.
Now it's a matter of time.
I was filming at bats, waiting for the walk-off, and then I got the Adolis walk-off.
And, of course, it was Garcia.
Of course it was.
And, again, I missed this old ballpark, don't get me wrong, aesthetically and stuff like that. That game was the moment I was like, oh, this is our home.
Yeah.
Like, how loud it was there
right.
for both of those moments.
Right.
I've never experienced it this previous
right.
ball. Of course, the dome probably has something to do with it and all that stuff and the acoustics, but that's when I was like, oh, okay. It may not be as aesthetically pleasing as this one, but this one gets loud.
Yeah.
You know what's weird? I think that in the grand scheme of things, the old one, not the oldest one, Arlington Stadium.
I'm not that old. I don't remember.
I know. That's where I grew up.
I know. I've heard you talk about it way too many times on the radio.
But I think that the one that's still standing here in the middle is going to be left out in the mix as far as what people actually like. This, like you said, this is home now, right? This is where it all happened for the first time.
Yep.
And then that other one just kind of was there, but then people are like, oh, but bro, the first one. That was the biggest dump of all, and that's what people are going to talk about. It's going to be the one right over there is just going to be left in the mix.
I hope that's not the case.
Yeah,
because
there were great times there too.
Yeah, I think here's what I'll say. For you, I can understand that perspective because you're an old fart.
Right. Thank you.
Unfortunately.
Thank you.
Whole show of them over here, Master.
We like to call him an old queef.
Oh, that too. Old queef. That works too. I like that. So, however, this old queef feels about that old one.
Yeah.
That's how I feel about this one.
Okay.
It's
I didn't have 10-cent beer nights, but I had $1 hot dog nights.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. It's Master Tesfasian on with us here on the Ticket, who's in town for the World Series, or for opening day. He was for the World Series, too.
Let's run it back, though.
Let's run it back. Why not?
Yeah.
Boy, I am curious, though, was the 2011 NBA Finals like this for you?
Yeah, because similar situation. That was probably a little bit more sentimental.
Yeah.
Because it was the Heat.
Yeah.
It was LeBron, the big three, the underdog story, the run. And Game 6, I was an intern for ESPN Dallas. I was covering the watch party at AAC.
Okay.
So that one was like, I'm trying to crack into the industry. Let me be objective and do my job type situation. So I had to suppress a lot of my emotions.
Yeah.
Just to, do my work and write what I need to do.
Media can't take sides in this whole thing.
Unfortunately. So
that's right.
This one was more enjoyable personally for me. Storyline-wise, the Mavs one is still going to be just an incredible moment.
Yeah.
But my fear is, and probably get to that in terms of the season, I just hope what we saw from the 2012 Mavs is nothing like what we're going to see from this season.
It's not.
I still get mad. Now, that was the last banner night we've had in the city, and I still get mad that Tyson's in New York City. Like, Tyson Chandler didn't make banner night, right? I'm not crazy, am I?
No. And we lost by 40 on Christmas night to
Miami again.
That's right. I forgot about
the Heat or was it Thunder?
I think it was Miami
the Heat.
again.
Oh, yeah. It was the
Heat.
Heat. And they weren't playing any games.
No, they destroyed us,
like, let's go.
And, it was so after the banner was raised, and I wasn't at that game, but watching at home with my family, after the banner was raised and you're just down 30, you're like, what do I do now?
Yeah.
And unfortunately, we've been on that long climb up trying to get back to that spot again. Where this one,
we might have something. The Mavs looking pretty good.
They're looking dangerous. You wrote that great piece on your Substack.
Thank you.
About how dangerous this team is and how
I
under the radar they're going.
I think it's happening, but
I think so too, man.
I better keep focus here. Dude, awesome to have you on the station.
Yeah.
It's awesome
Thanks
to have
for
you on our show.
listening all these years.
Man, come on, bro.
Yeah.
It's nothing. You guys,
and thanks
especially
for
traveling around,
running across the parking lot, brother.
Being in the industry and seeing how transformative the Ticket has been to the sports radio landscape. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
That's really
Very
cool,
kind,
you man.
Very kind.
Enjoy.
Thanks for
opening
sprinting
day.
over here.
Yeah.
Enjoy the band. Yeah.
Losing weight while you're working, you know?
All right, that's our guy, Master Tesfasian. You can find him, Master Tess, on Twitter if you'd like to, or find him on YouTube.
We've never heard any of that, Coach. We just wanted to bring you on and say congrats.
Okay, well, just keep it on the up and up. I'm a tough old broad. I grew up in Tick Fall, Louisiana, in a trailer.
That's right.
That trailer was made of broken glass and shattered dreams. You think I'm going to let you intimidate me?
No.
Good luck, doo-doo man. man.
Doo-doo man.
We don't want to intimidate you. We just want to talk about the matchup with Iowa tonight.
Yeah.
Look, I got thick skin, and I don't want to talk about this Washington Post article, okay?
Oh,
okay. Well, you
we
brought
didn't,
it up.
Yeah, we didn't bring it up.
You brought it up by avoiding it. I know what you do. I know your tricks as journalists, okay?
Okay.
Now, look, you can print whatever y'all want about me, okay?
Okay. Well,
But you leave my kids alone,
Mm-hmm.
all right?
that's fair.
And also, don't print whatever you want about me.
Well, we don't print anything. We have a talk show.
I'm tired of you yellow journalists writing your fictions and publishing it without even getting my full approval ahead of time, okay?
Okay, well, and you didn't cooperate with the Washington...
Hey, doo-doo man.
What?
I'm 61 years old, okay? I'm in the Basketball Hall of Fame.
Uh-huh.
I was my high school valedictorian. Did you know that about me?
That doesn't surprise me, no.
Valedictorian in high school. What were you in high school?
I wasn't that.
You were the kid who doo-dooed in the urinal and blamed it on the janitor. I know.
I didn't do that.
Look,
now, why are you attacking me? We're just trying to interview.
Because of you and your best little friend there, Kent Babb.
The Post reporter?
Who's that muckraking fiction writer.
Okay, but he had a lot of facts in there, too.
Hey, listen, I'm talking.
All right.
Okay? You got me on here, and then you want to do all the talking.
All right, I'm sorry. You have the floor. Go ahead.
You and Kent Babb, y'all ought to be writing Moby Dick, not writing that Kim Mulkey is a basketball coach who's overcome some challenges, okay? I don't want to hear that.
Well, he wrote a lot of good things about it, but your success at Baylor and what you've done at LSU and
okay, you mentioned Baylor. I'm not there at Baylor anymore, okay? I'm focused on the game that we're playing now.
Okay.
Not Baylor.
Okay.
Now, I won titles there.
Yeah.
How many titles did you win at Baylor?
Zero.
One, probably.
I've never.
Guy most likely to get caught molesting a grackle. Okay, that's you.
Grackle.
Now, come on.
That's
I don't know
you.
why you. You have
look,
something
I'm
common
tired
with
of
every
your-
other
your
840
lies,
person
dude.
we've
I want
talked.
you to take your lies and your yarns and your fictions
Uh-huh.
and your mask mandates and your 6-foot lesbian shooting guards, and I want you to stick them where it smells like a barn and the sun don't shine, all right?
Okay. Okay, well, what about tonight's matchup with Iowa and Caitlin Clark? What about
Okay,
that?
see, I know what you're doing there. You and Kent Babb are trying to print rumors right now.
How?
You just told me to ask about the game at
Hey,
hand.
that's what y'all are doing right now.
No, it's
You're
not.
trying to print rumors and lies about me and about my family. You've gone around and you've interviewed people trying to get dirt on me.
Nope.
But look, I learned a lot when I grew up in Tickfall, Louisiana.
Yeah, we heard that.
I learned a lot, and one of the first lessons that my stupid dad that I refused to talk to for the rest of my life
Okay,
taught
let's not
me
get personal about him.
was that Kent Babb is a fiction writer. You can't trust a word that he writes, and because y'all are best friends and live in the same little one-bedroom apartment sharing a bed.
I've never heard of him until this
I
week.
know all about you.
No, you don't.
I know all about you.
You all right, Coach?
And what you do? Yes, I'm fine. You don't ask me whether I'm fine or
Okay,
not.
I'm sorry.
I'll tell you. I just want to talk about the game. Can I please talk about the game?
we just asked you about the game.
Look, I know what you're trying to do here.
Coach, it feels like we're going in circles.
You're trying to accuse me of focusing on something other than the game right now, and I don't appreciate it. Now, I've got to go and get this team ready to play a game that I don't even know who we're playing because I've been so busy worried about this Washington Post article.
You know who you're playing.
All right, see ya. That's supposed to be Kim Mulkey. I don't know.
Guess that went about as expected.
Very confrontational.
Are you someone who tries to drive while distracted by your phone? Someone who props it on the steering wheel or peeks down at it for a glance? Or just scrolls and scrolls? If so, you could be the next person to get into a fender bender, get a ticket, veer off the road, or even cause
championship ring designer.
Well, thank you, Jacob. I do appreciate it. And
that's Craig.
I am a jewelry designer. I went to school for over 12 years for learning the craft, apprenticed under my father, and we are 4 generations of jewelry designers, my family. So very proud of our legacy. Yeah, I designed I'm kind of the specialty guy when it comes to jewelry design on championship rings. I design championship rings for a living.
Wow.
Okay, like who have you designed for?
Well, I did LSU's women's team last year.
Oh.
I also designed the rings, and
I'm sorry.
It was very impressive ring. It was beautiful. I don't know if y'all have seen it yet, but it's a lot of designs, a lot of tableaus, a lot of scenes around the ring, a lot of symbolism on the side of it. You can see Kim Mulkey throwing a phone book at one of her players. It's very tastefully done.
Tastefully done.
She was okay with that?
Done, yeah.
How would you have room for that on a ring?
And I did the WNBA championship rings for the Washington Mystics in 2019, the Chicago Sky 2021.
Oh.
Very beautiful rings, but in collaboration with them, they had a lot of input on what to have on it. There's a big L on the side of it. It's very nice, very nice.
What does the L stand for?
A lesbian. Oddly enough, that's something
okay.
They wanted
they
that.
They're not going to put that on a ring.
They wanted that.
Yes, they wanted that. They voted on it. It was a democratic process, but I've spent some time in Dallas, Fort Worth, and I'm assuming that is Frisco near there?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I've been there at Frisco at a place called the Star. I was
Cowboys.
commissioned. Yes, I've been there. I was also at a place called Valley Ranch many years ago.
Uh-huh.
I think that's in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. I was commissioned by Jerry Jones to design the Cowboys' next Super Bowl ring.
Well, who would
Only
do
about
that?
20 years ago, we designed this thing, still in the hopper. But it's a beautiful design. It's some of my best work, to be quite honest with you. Now, it's very big, as you can imagine. You guys know, you're from Texas. Everything's bigger in Texas.
Uh-huh.
But it would be the biggest championship ring ever produced if we get to build it.
Wow.
Okay.
Yeah, it opens up to reveal another smaller ring inside of it.
Okay.
And then if you open that ring up, the smaller one, it reveals a full-sized game-used football from that Super Bowl season. It's beautiful. It's so tasteful.
Boy, that's huge.
Wow.
Very tasteful.
More
It
like
has
a
over
cooler.
300 diamonds per ring in the design. 300 diamonds per ring. And then there's 112 more diamonds on top of that.
Wow.
So I guess that's 412 diamonds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So and it says on the side that it says JJS. It has the initials, very symbolic. And a lot of people
JJS.
JJS, yes. And a lot of people think that it stands for Jerry Jones Super Bowl, but as the planner alongside Jerry, I know exactly what it means.
Huh.
Jimmy Johnson sucks.
Oh, now why would he
Jerry
put that
didn't
on the
want
ring?
Jerry, that was one of his decisions. And the ring also has 4 integrated lasers, an ejectable grappling hook. It also has a scroll tucked inside of it. You open up one secret compartment of the ring, it has a scroll tucked inside of it. Every player who ever played for the Cowboys.
Wow.
Except for Dwayne Goodrich. Jerry didn't want him on there. So,
okay.
yeah, he had me scratch out Dwayne Goodrich's name and put Randy Moss's name on it instead. So he should have always been on the team.
That's strange.
But I've also got one designed for the Mavericks in case they win another title. It's great. It's got a full replica of Mark Cuban's head on the top of it.
Wow.
Okay.
Yeah, you're basically just wearing a statue of Mark Cuban's head. But it's beautiful. And then on top of his head, there's a huge blue diamond that's beautiful. And then on the side, it has a gold carving of Luca arguing with a ref.
Wow. It seems
I don't think that's appropriate for a championship ring.
Yeah, and then on the other side, it has a carving of Mark Followill laughing at a fart.
Wow, what a detailed ring.
Yeah, I also did the ring for the Rangers World Series win, but they didn't use my design. I sent them the prototype and everything. It was gorgeous. It expanded over all 4 knuckles and spelled out Bochy's Boys with a Z on the end.
Oh, my gosh. Well, yeah.
I can see why they passed on that.
Much.
Yeah. Law enforcement got involved with that and said that it could double as brass knuckles, so we couldn't have it.
Wow, what amazing work you've done over the years.
Like
it is. And if you guys would like me to design a Musers Championship ring, I understand you've had a few successes down there, so maybe I could do that, design a Musers Championship ring, do something pretty tasteful, something that vibrates, something that you could put down your pants, something like that.
No,
sure.
I don't think we'd have an interest in that.
Just let me know. I'm always available. Once again, the website is emeryphenylidison.com.
See, you can't even say it.
Did you say .gov?
No, it's not .com.
Oh, okay. Okay.
It's .gov. Yes.
It is .gov.
How do you spell phenolith in this thing?
I don't know.
I don't know.
But everyone check out my website, and I've got an Etsy shop. Thank you.
Okay. There goes our ring expert, Emery Phenolithison, something along those lines.
Are you someone who tries to drive all distracted by your phone? Someone who props it on the steering wheel or peeks down at it for a glance? Or just scrolls and scrolls? If so, you could be the next person to get into a fender bender, get a ticket, veer off the road, or even cause a crash that kills you or someone else. Enough already. Put the phone away or pay. Paid for by NHTSA.
Every day, we rise.
Well, there'll be a lot of pagan rituals going on, and he just wants to distance from all of that.
Yes, I'm very scared of the sun. So I will be, ladies and gentlemen, I will be at the Masters 1 week from today, if everything goes according to plan. And so...
Wow, you get to call the April Fool's Open and then go to the Masters in the span of 1 week.
Will the experience of one make me better at the next?
Who can tell?
Who can say? Are you familiar with a publication known as Garden and Gun?
No.
Because I had never heard of it until today. But today I was sent a link, thanks to our friend Don Van Natta, about what?
Not that.
Was that necessary for?
Bob, you got to see this.
You're going to love it.
Our friend Don Van
It's
Natta.
like 10 Latinas.
By the way, Don Van Natta, now writing like the tell-all Jerry Jones novel.
Yes, he is. Yes, he is. But he sent me a link with Garden and Gun for a story that they are very proud of producing recently called Masters of the Green, the Black Caddies of Augusta National. Subheadline, for almost 50 years, they carried the bags of golf legends, but also masterminded victories from tees to the holes. Then, with one decision, their lives shifted, and the legacy of their glory days went unheralded. Finally, that's changing. So, I'm reading a lot of stuff about the Masters before I make my maiden voyage to Augusta, Georgia for the Tuesday practice round day. I'm very excited. Cowboy Tom is making this all possible, and we're taking the trip and going to see the hallowed fairways of Augusta National. And so I'll be honest with you, and Corby will attest to this. I am a Tiger Woods. Tiger Woods was my portal of entry for golf in terms of I was one of millions and millions of Americans that knew the sport existed, didn't care that much. It wasn't really for me, but here is this guy who is like upsetting the golf world, at least according to us, because he was not one of them and he was winning everything. And that juxtaposition just was extremely interesting to a sports casual or I guess, sports enthusiast who's a golf casual. And through his career, I grew to love the game. And frankly, have an unhealthy relationship with the game now to where it's on my mind way too often. Just ask Kat. And I I don't know its history very well, and so what I'm enjoying over these last several years is sort of diving into the history. Well, as you might expect, a lot of it is in the Old South, and a lot of the Old South had some, shall we say, racial complications along the way that intersected very intimately with the game of golf.
No way.
Yes, it's actually true. So I'm reading a book that your closer friend, but our mutual friend Pat recommended that I read before I go to the Masters, and it referenced a lot of these things. But if it's more in there more comprehensively, I haven't got to that chapter yet, evidently. But in this story from Garden and Gun magazine, I'll read you a paragraph or two here. Augusta National first put on what would be called the Masters Tournament in 1934, with its rule in place attributed to its creator, Clifford Roberts, that golfers would always be white and the caddies would always be black.
Ugh.
The segregated
That's
course.
in the bylaws.
Yeah, I think unofficially. The segregated course had support from the top. From that same year until 1961, the Professional Golfers Association of America, the PGA, had a Caucasian-only clause in its bylaws, preventing non-whites from membership and thus from competing on the PGA Tour, all the way till 1961.
Yeah.
So,
not good.
Against this backdrop, we should also tell you that caddies, back in the day, to the best of my knowledge, and please correct me, Corby, or as some might say, Country Club Corby.
Go on.
That in many cases, caddies were not de facto experts on and that you hired and they would get a percentage of your income. They were sort of the help at these clubs.
Yes.
And in
100%.
most cases, they would happen to be black. Or maybe not happen at all. Maybe they would be black by design. And so here's where it got weird for me, because I remember these Sports Illustrated covers where, like, Jack Nicklaus is winning the 1972 Masters, and the cover of Sports Illustrated is Jack and his black caddy are the only two on the picture. And now, why is that weird? Well, the caddy was not his caddy. The caddy was his Augusta National caddy.
Right. There was a huge difference.
So the whole idea of these professional golfers having caddies that travel with them and get a percentage of their income, to the best of my knowledge, Corby, that's happened in our lifetime.
Mm-hmm.
Before then, Jack or Arnie or Ben Hogan or Byron Nelson or any of these guys would not have a caddy with him everywhere. They would grab somebody from that club. Now, it might be the same guy every time.
Yeah, surely they would develop relationships
yes.
and have their favorite guy at each course.
100%. But they would not travel, and so you would give them probably a nice tip, and then you would be on your way, and I'll see you next year when we come back to your town where you were.
Yes.
And so this all changed, by the way, as golf modernized and television networks broadcast more tournaments. I'll read from the story here. The prize purse swelled, and players began to build personal teams. They would have nutritionists and chefs, psychologists, swing coaches, and, yes, caddies who followed them everywhere. Many began to feel that using a local caddy at the Masters instead of someone they collaborated with year-round was a detriment. Those complaints came to a head in 1982. So until 1982, if you had a caddy, he can't come to the Masters with you. You have to use one of the Augusta National caddies, who I believe every one of them happened to be black.
Everyone.
Okay. So those complaints came to a head in 1982 after a heavy spring rain caused a delay on Sunday until Sunday morning for the third round. Confusion about the start time left some players without their assigned caddy. One golfer even sent his wife out to shag balls for him.
which I guess was a thing on the driving range before they had pickers, is somebody would have to go out there and
Careful, guys, don't hit my wife.
Yes, my wife is out there picking up balls. This is all weird to me. The PGA players asked Augusta National chairman at the time, Hord Hardin, to lift the ban on outside caddies.
Hord Hardin.
And finally, Hardin complied. The next year, only 18 of the tournament's 82 players used Augusta National's black caddies. Not only that, but white caddies, now eager and able to work at the country's most prestigious course, began to take the spots in the course's corps. They started taking all those jobs. And money changed the world, as the story says. So I start reading the story, and before long, they introduced me to a man named Carl Jackson.
That's Crenshaw's caddy.
Thank you. Carl Jackson is Crenshaw's caddy. And even crazier, this story pulled from a 2021 news story on WFAA in Dallas. As Arnold Payne, our friend AP, won Emmys for doing a 8-minute story that you can see on YouTube called The Vanishing of the Black Caddy. And he tells the story of Carl Jackson. And if you don't mind, I would like to play you a little bit of Channel 8 story from 3 years ago that our friend did and won Emmys, and I just found out about it this morning.
Masters is on the line at Augusta, Georgia.
Jackson would caddy at his first Masters tournament in 1961 at age 14.
Older guys at that time called me a little bull. That little bull can caddy.
But there was no way that an 11-year-old kid could have ever imagined that he himself would caddy at a record 54 Masters. Starting in 1961, he only missed one, prior to his retirement 6 years ago.
It was not smooth sailing. You're being out on the tour, it's glamorous and all that, but it's hard work.
Crenshaw has this eagle attempt from about 20 feet here at 13.
But it was not until Jackson was paired with Ben Crenshaw at the 1976 Masters tournament that he found his rightful place of longevity and prosperity.
And when I met Carl Jackson, I said, God, what a gift. What a gift this is. I can't tell you how many times he helped me in so many instances, but it was pretty simple for me. I had the best, and I never saw any reason to change whatsoever.
Carl Jackson, his caddy, said it went off like a bullet.
Jackson quickly became a trusted companion, talent recognizing talent, meticulously elevating Crenshaw's game to 2 Masters championships in both 1984 and 95.
Ben Crenshaw has
When
won the Masters for a second time.
I won in 1995, that picture on the last green, I collapsed.
He's down there all hunched over.
He's been holding back the emotion, keeping them in check all week.
What's wrong with him?
And Carl came over and put his arms around me, and I'll never forget it. He said,
Hey, buddy, are you all right?
And I said, no, I'm not.
I'm tearing up now, I said, no, Carl Jackson, you're not gonna cry on this camera.
Next to tee from Eagle, Idaho.
And that was in 95 when Crenshaw was washed, essentially.
Yeah.
I mean, his odds were about as low as you could get to win that tournament. And that hug at the end of it, and this is 2 years before Tiger won his first Masters.
That's right.
So that hug is one of the most iconic memories for me at that tournament because it seemed like it lasted forever. And those Carl Jackson and Crenshaw, he's bawling in Carl Jackson's arms.
So Carl Jackson started caddying when he was 8, and he lives in a neighborhood in Augusta called Sand Hill. And Sand Hill has a path through the forest where you pop out on the 11th green or the 13th tee at Augusta National, and he was one of the poor black kids in that neighborhood that decided, I don't want to do manual labor, maybe I'll go caddy.
You
to
just
try to
show
make
up,
to try to make a couple
try and
bucks.
glom on somehow.
And he started when he was 8, and he retired, after, what'd they say, 54 Masters in a row?
Yeah. He just retired 6 years ago or 8
yeah,
years ago.
Yes.
And so somehow this had a Dallas tie, as Channel 8 told his story a couple years ago, and I found out about it this morning. And it's the great Carl Jackson and the story of, I guess now they're obviously trying to grow the game more and more in minority communities and trying to make it more of a sport where you can play. And, of course, there are a number of players on the tour who started as caddies, as young black boys who grew up to be, professional players. I believe that's Charlie Elder's story, or
Lee Elder.
Lee Elder, I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
Mm-hmm. Charlie Sifford.
Yeah, okay. But Lee Elder, and there's another one that was also a caddy as a boy at Augusta who turned into a professional player because they were around the game their whole life. And lo and behold, if you're exposed to the game,
It's
then
Trevino's story.
yes,
Same thing.
So anyway, it's a little story
He's
I
not
wanted.
black though.
He is not.
He is not. But that's a story I wanted to tell you today as I
Awesome.
learned about the Channel 8 story of the vanishing of the black caddy.
I think Augusta National needs to be canceled.
I think they've.
Get her done.
There he is. There he is. Yes. There's the catchphrase. Now we're visiting with you.
Thanks for letting me class up your show.
Yeah. Yeah. This is a black tie event. We all rented tuxes for this.
Well, let me just say before we start, I hurt a little bit. I was playing pickleball yesterday and threw out my pickle. So, it's a long story. Well, a medium story.
We're talking with you because you are part of the 3rd annual Invited Celebrity Classic presented by Choctaw Casinos and Resorts. It's going to be held April 15th through the 21st at Las Colinas Country Club. And tickets are free if someone wants to go for all 3 days of competition. www.invitedcelebrityclassic.com/tickets. Now, would you prefer us to call you Dan or Larry in this interview?
It don't matter to me. Just whatever you call me, I'm excited. You call me Gail or Free. I don't care what you call me. Call me whatever. I'm looking forward to coming down there, though. I enjoy that golf tournament. They do a good job down there. Choctaw, they put it on, and it's Las Colinas, a great course. And every year, I finished 38. And my wife said, "Man, you did pretty good. You finished 38." And I go, "Honey, there was 41 people in it." So I like that great a deal. But I'll say this: I got me a golf simulator. I've been playing I know I'm playing better because I was on my simulator yesterday, and I only had to let 3 groups play through.
Yeah, I was wondering how good a player.
George.
Do you play in the cutoff sleeves when you play golf, or do you wear like a regular golf shirt, or what kind of dress do you throw down?
Well, it depends. If I'm golfing with, say I'm golfing with Jack Nicklaus. Well, that's Jack Nicklaus, so obviously I'm not going to wear sleeves. But if I'm golfing, I'm going to dress up for that. But if it's somebody nobody knows, then I'll dress down and I'll put sleeves on.
Now, there's a lot of big players playing in this. Vijay Singh, Justin Leonard, Retief Goosen, John Daly, Tony Romo. There's a big golfer for you.
Yeah, that Vijay Singh, shoot, I practically raised his kids. We go way back, me and Vijay. I was big, back in the day.
Oh, those kids watch the movie Cars, all the Cars films?
Cars 1 and 2.
Well, yeah, Cars 1 and 2. I'm sure they saw it, so I guess I did raise his kids.
Yeah, there you go.
It's always like we're almost like our own little tour. We play in a bunch of these celebrity golf tournaments. It's always fun to help folks raise money, and of course this is going to the First Tee Dallas, First Tee Fort Worth, the Momentus Institute. So we're raising some good money. It's a young tournament. We've already done $500,000 to the charities. But it's kind of like old home week because we do a lot of these. So it's, it's always good to get back out there and see the guys again and compete against them. And it's a lot of fun.
When did you get into golf? Like, what age did you get the golf bug?
I didn't start playing golf till about 2010, maybe about 14 years ago, and I love it. I mean, I think sometimes I don't even take any dates because I want to golf. So I go, I'm getting better. I started out at about a 30 handicap, and then I'm about a 30 handicap now, and it's only cost me $6 million. So
Not bad. Not bad.
Not bad. It gets addicting, that's for sure. But I love it. I remember we were in some tournament and they had a long drive contest, and Michelle Tafoya was out there interviewing people, and she says, "Larry, what was your longest drive?" And I'm like, "Yesterday, the drive home after I shot a 105."
Hey,
I love these tournaments.
Is there a hope for Nebraska football? Whoa,
what's happening?
Now. We're bumper carring it.
But
okay, Gord's not helping. I asked you if there was hope for Nebraska football.
Yeah, we got a good coach, man. Matt Rule's awesome, and the kids love him. And I go down there every now and then, see the practice. It's a whole different attitude down there. I'm very excited about it. We finally got somebody in there, and we'll see. We'll see. But it's, I think we're on our way up. Absolutely. Okay. Whole different attitude. I hope so. I mean, I'm a product of I was born in '63, so I'm a product of the '70s and the '80s and the '90s, and football was always awesome when it was, Nebraska, Oklahoma, Texas, USC, the big blue bloods. I loved that, so I hope it all gets back to that again. I think, this whole Nils thing and everything that's going on, at some point, there's going to be a breakaway, and there's going to end up being 50 schools that participate in 2 conferences probably. And, I mean, where it's headed, so we'll see. That kind of stinks. I wish we could go back to
the good old days. Yeah, bowl games, and Nebraska would win 10 or 11 games a year.
Well, yeah, that was fun. That was fun, but not just because we win all the time, but, man, that was fun. You wake up and you had New Year's Day, you had the Orange Bowl at night, and you had the road. I mean, that was awesome. Now it's different.
Yeah.
Anyway,
we got the mayonnaise bowl now.
Yeah, the man. What a yeah, absolutely. But anyway, Nebraska's going to be fine. I'm not worried about it. So,
hey, tell us about your early days in radio. Why did you get out of radio?
Why did I get out of radio?
Mm-hmm.
Well, y'all do radio. You tell me why you want to get out of it.
Yeah, and you did mornings too. We can definitely relate to that, why you wanted to go do something else.
No, I'll be honest with you. I loved it. Morning shows I loved because when people move somewhere and they turn on – anyway, back in the day, back in the 90s and the early 2000s, you turn on your favorite station, and the station was kind of like family. So when I got on these morning shows across the country, I became a part of that person's drive home and that drive to work. And now with the days of social media for comedians, they got podcasts. But for me, and I know Fox already did it like that too, we did radio. And I loved morning radio. Was really good to me. And I'll never say anything bad about radio because it was a big stepping stone to my career. And, I had about 27 stations that I was syndicated on, and I do a 3.5, 4 minute bit there. But if it wasn't for morning radio letting me and allowing me to get on there and be funny and develop a following, I don't know where it would have gone. But morning radio was great. I loved it. I enjoyed morning radio. It was. I mean, if they said if you had to go back, I'd go back and do it again. Absolutely. I loved it. And I did learn one thing about morning radio, though. You know, I was doing mainly call-ins, but I remember in Florida, they made me a part of the morning show. So when I wasn't out on the road doing stand-up, I would come in and be a part of the morning show. And they gave me a little office, and I'd had to zip out, and I'd call Arizona, or I'd call Texas, or I'd call Nebraska or Virginia or whatever, but then I go back and be a part of the morning show. But I did learn this. They tried to teach me how to operate the board once. And I said, I ain't going to learn how to operate the board, because if I know how to operate the board, you're going to ask me to operate the board all the time. But if I don't know how to operate the board, you're not going to ask me to do squat. So I purposely didn't learn how to do nothing, so they never asked me to do something else.
That's what we've been doing
the
all
Gordon
these
Keith
years.
trajectory.
That's
perfect.
That's the one thing I learned in radio. I loved it. I had a great time, and it's beautiful. But I learned early on, don't learn how to operate nothing.
How much land are you living on now, Mr. Larry the Cable Guy?
Oh, it's not bad. I think I got 11,000 acres up here.
Wow.
Dang.
In Nebraska or where?
In my head when I sleep at night.
Okay.
No, I've you know what? I got a place up here. We got about 180 acres. Got a nice creek that runs through it and a pond, and it's nice. You know, I got rodeo kids, so my daughter's learning how to do breakaway roping, and my boy's been trying to bull ride.
Wow.
And I put a nice little practice facility in for them, and so we do a lot of that. You know, I was involved with the professional bull riders a long time ago. I used to sponsor a cowboy named Tater Porter, and I had a PRCA team, and I enjoy that stuff. So in my off time, you know, I like to golf, and then I like to go down there and be with the kids and help them try to live their dreams out. So
how many shows are you doing a year?
You know what? I cut back. You know, my kids grew up on a tour bus. You know, for about 15 years, I was on the road about 287 days a year.
Wow.
Living on a bus. And 3 of those years, 4 of those years before my kids ever came along. But you know what? I cut way back. I'm kind of, I don't know, I'd say semi-retired. I do maybe 24 shows a year. I do just enough to go out and play star for a weekend, and you know I still enjoy doing it. I love making people laugh, and so I don't, you know, I'm not gonna quit anytime soon. But I just, you know, my kids they're 16 and 17, and so when they started about 13 years old, I started cutting back because Jeff Foxworthy told me a long time ago, if you don't need to go somewhere and you've done well, one thing you don't want to do is not be there for your kids when they got something going on and you don't want to miss it. And if you're able to do that, try to do that. So that's what I try to do. I go out and, like, for this weekend, I'm going out and I'm doing a show in Nevada. I'm doing a show up in Oregon. I'll be home Sunday, and then I'm going to come down there and do that golf tournament. And so I kind of like that, you know. Yeah. I'm doing just enough to keep my name out there and tell jokes and have a good time with it.
Well, we thank you for joining us today.
Absolutely. Hope everyone's out there and watches us play golf. It's a lot of fun, you know. Everybody that golfs in this golf tournament, celebrity-wise, and senior-wise. They're really good with the fans. They're good interaction with people, and I think if you've never been to this pro-am there at Las Colinas, I think you're really gonna enjoy it.
Well, thank you, Larry the Cable Guy.
Well, thank you. Get her done. Boy, I tell you what, I'm happier than a toaster in the trailer park. Woo!
Well, we got part of it.
Oh, Mater there. All right.
All right.
That's a little Mater for you, fellas. All right.
Love Mater. Yes, it's invitedcelebrityclassic.com/tickets. Free tickets for all 3 days of competition. You can see a lot of famous people. I mentioned Romo. There are other athletes. Pudge, DeMarcus Ware, Greg Maddux, Tom Glavine, Roger Clemens, John Smoltz, Annika Sorenstam.
Okay.
Joe Carter, Reggie Bush, Alfonso Ribeiro.
Yes.
The actor from, what was he on?
Fresh
Prince.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you watched Cars yet, Junior? Any of the Cars?
No, not yet.
Thumbs up. They're great.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah, Owen Wilson's in there.
Owen Wilson plays Lightning McQueen.
Larry the Cable Guy is Mater.
Yeah, he's great as Mater.
Tom Hanks in that?
No, that's Toy Story.
That's what I'm thinking of.
Toy Story. Yeah.
Are you happy now, George?
Yes.
Gosh,
I don't care who
no
you are. That's
one
funny
more
right there.
excited about Larry the Cable Guy than George.
He had a lot of funny lines.
He's great.
How old do you think he is?
So I looked this up. What'd you say?
50s?
Because
he sounds 80,
yes,
but he's only 61.
I thought he was in his 70s by how he sounded.
Mm-hmm.
And when I saw he was 61, I was shocked.
But anyway, go on out there.
Happy birthday.
Watch him play. Got us to the Olympics with our swim team.
Wow.
In high school?
In high school,
High school
that's
teams
right.
don't qualify.
You were the leader of the Mermen.
For the Olympics, and I didn't swim in high school.
Yes, you did, and I have to say, George, I'm very excited today.
Why?
Well, because I'm looking at you. Look at this. I made a mess of myself.
Marge.
Stop
I'm
it.
also excited for the April Fool's Open.
Are you going to be out there?
I'll be out there, George.
Okay.
Wow.
And I think I should be eligible for the April Fool's Open because I'm closely associated with the ticket.
Yeah.
And believe it or not, I'm not that good at golf.
Really?
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm not. You want to know what my handicap is?
I don't know what.
I'm a paraplegic, but I thought that part was obvious.
Oh, I thought you were going to say you're like
Also,
an 18
I've
or
played
something.
very limited golf.
Okay.
Very limited golf.
All
Okay.
right.
So, can you please let me compete for cash and prizes, George?
Well, I don't think we really have cash
It's
or
the
prizes.
least you can
and-
do for someone that you betrayed so severely that you pushed me in front of a train.
George.
I did not
In a
push you-
controlling, jealous rage because you saw me talking to another student once on the phone.
That's all it took?
No, I would never do something like that.
Also, you owe it to me because you left the swim team to join the golf team. And that destroyed my life, George.
Okay, you weren't coaching, and there was no like big
Yes,
moment
you did.
where I
You
left
left my team to join that golf team so you could be closer to that whore, Harry Bullard.
Okay, that was my golf coach, and don't call him that.
You thought he wanted you more than I did.
Coach Bullard,
Was
that
that true?
He was a nice guy.
That hurt me so bad.
Well, I'm sorry, but I don't remember that.
Almost hurt me as bad as the time you threw me off the roof of the equipment shed for not liking the same flavor ice cream as you did.
Okay,
George.
But you know, there were minor disagreements.
Another made-up story. I don't remember any of that.
Boy, George, I tell you, I sure wish that you would join my team. Let's reform the team.
The team? What team?
The swim team.
Okay.
Let's make a deal. You let me compete in the April Fool's Open, and I'll let you reform the swim team.
No.
That sounds like a good deal.
It's not a good deal. It's one of the worst
Remember
deals.
that? Remember that funny time when you severed my Achilles with an X-Acto knife in a bizarre April Fool's prank to impress your high school drug dealer?
George.
Okay, a
Remember
lot
that?
wrong with that one.
It was all in good fun. And just to clarify, that was this April Fool's Day. Why your drug dealer is a high schooler is anyone's
Yeah,
guess.
I don't know about that.
Shows poor judgment
Another
if you ask
made-up
me.
story
But
is what it
anyway,
is.
back to the April Fool's Open.
Yes. You're welcome to come out and watch.
Can
if
I
you want
please
to.
be in it?
How
Why
will
do
you
wanna
get
be
out
in it?
there?
You're so talented. How will I get out there? It'll take at least 5 charges on the chair. But I won't be too much trouble, George, and I'll follow the 90-degree rule in my chair.
Okay, yeah.
Come on, I got a set of putters from Goodwill.
A set of putters?
Yeah, and I've been refusing to practice so as to be in full compliance with your AFO qualifications.
Yeah, you would be qualified to play in it before.
I really think I'll win for 2 reasons.
Okay, what?
1, because of Ramadan.
What does that have to do with
I'm a rewards member at Ramada, so I'm going to Ramadan. That's what it is.
God.
Yes, it's a little bit different than EA's.
Okay.
But I'm a frequent customer there,
Okay.
and so I'm going to their convention.
Okay.
And I'll also be wearing golf spikes.
Oh.
So I really think that'll
Well, you
give
would
me
be
the
ahead of the
advantage.
rest of the field, yeah.
They really tear up the footholds on the chair.
I was
but
gonna say,
that's okay. That's okay. If you won't let me golf for cash and glory, George,
Yeah.
please let me live in your tool shed.
George,
Out
you
behind
could
your beautiful manse.
Please
don't even
do
have
that.
a
You
tool
have a
shed.
manse, George.
Let her live behind your manse.
Please. I could cuddle up next to your industrial bucket of diazinon every night and have a good life. A very good life.
Well, we do need to get you a home, but I don't think it's with me.
I'll be out there competing today. I gotta leave now, though, because it's quite away.
Yeah,
Okay,
good
there
luck.
She goes. There goes Marge.
Hope we see her out
Marge,
there.
the swim coach.
Are you someone who tries to drive while distracted by your phone? Someone who props it on the steering wheel or peeks down at it for a glance? Or just scrolls and scrolls? If so, you could be the next person to get into a fender bender, get a ticket, veer off the road, or even cause a crash that kills you or someone else. Enough already. Put the phone away or pay.
Hey P1s, introducing Live Your Free from TXU Energy, the first and only energy plan of its kind that automatically adapts each month to give you free energy when you use it the most. It's 100% personalized to you, so you're always getting your biggest savings. Learn more at TXU.com.
Are you someone who tries to drive while distracted by your phone? Someone who props it on the steering wheel or peeks down at it for a glance? Or just scrolls and scrolls? If so, you could be the next person to get into a fender bender, get a ticket, veer off the road, or even cause a crash that kills you or someone else. Enough already. Put the phone away or pay. Paid for by NHTSA.
Every day, we rise, challenging ourselves to work for what we believe in. At U.S. Border Patrol, protecting our borders is more than a job. It's a calling. Agents answer the call, working together to keep our country and communities safe. If you're ready for a new mission, join U.S. Border Patrol and go beyond. Learn more at cbp.gov/careers.
Once again, the Ticket presents Why Today Doesn't Suck.
Sucking on chili dog. Sucking on a dog, sucking on a chili dog. Sucking on chili, sucking on a dog. Sucking on a chili dog, sucking on chili dog.
And now, here are your hosts,
Sean, yeah.
and David Mino. Pants.
Yeah, Sean
Cream
Pants. Sean, yeah, EA Pants, Golf Pants, and David Mino. All right, it's 2:58. Here is Ham Hunts.
Thank you, Mino. Eatsies Market and Bakery and GimmeTheVin.com brings you the biggest hawks hunt I know, Monty. A little more space in there, I think, Ham. Sorry, the biggest hawks
hunt. It's all.
Hold on, I'm doing a joke.
It's a relative joke though because of the Hawks being in town last night.
Yeah, indeed.
Yes.
Hunt, I know, it's Monty. Thank you. All right, we say hello to the hard line. Bob, Corby, Dave.
Yo.
Congrats on the big win this week, Davey.
Does that sound?
Which one?
The NIT break. Is there
you're
a
winning
one?
everything.
I know.
You're
it's a
cleaning
dynasty.
up.
Yeah, you're doing great.
You're backing up all that gold trim.
Does this count as doing the double?
Would you take this historic win at the April Fool's Open and an NIT break but the Rangers get swept this weekend.
No, I'd give it all back.
See? That's a fan right there.
Team player.
Yep.
All right,
Bud
today,
Adolis hits 25 home runs in the series.
Interesting.
and they lose.
Yeah, they lose every
They
game.
get swept.
They lose. They get
That's a
swept,
pitching
but
meltdown.
Adolis hits
He's hitting
25
six
home runs.
home runs a game.
Yeah.
What a feat.
Yeah. Thank you. Roids will do that to you.
Oh, come on.
Today is Friday, April 5th, the 96th day of 2024. 270 days left in the year on this date in the year 1614. Indian chief Powhatan's daughter Pocahontas married Englishman John Rolfe, a widower in the Virginia colony.
And then natives and the English were friends forever.
Right.
And she liked white men by the score.
Yeah,
She
that was
did.
just the first of many.
They decided cooperation was the best way.
And she
Yeah.
gave birth to Squanto.
Squanto.
Yep. In the year 1621, the Mayflower sailed from the Plymouth colony in present-day Massachusetts on a month-long return trip to England. You all know it went back? I didn't.
Did not.
Just thought it stayed here.
Right.
Yeah, I thought it was still sitting over
We
there.
ain't leaving.
Nice here. Let's
Right.
stay.
They hit it like spring break week, you know? Like, whoa, no way.
So did any
Go
of the
back with braids
pilgrims
in their
have a
hair.
round-trip ticket?
Probably not.
No, they didn't want to go back because weren't they like being religiously persecuted?
Yeah.
They were being repressed and stuff.
In the year 1764, Britain's Parliament passed the American Revenue Act of 1764, also known as the Sugar Act. The American colonies had zero representation for that. That's what
about
kind of started that whole
Taxation without representation.
It was a kerfuffle.
In 1887, in Alabama, Anne Sullivan taught the word and concept of water to blind and deaf and mute 6-year-old Helen Keller by holding one of her hands under a dripping water pump and spelling out W-A-T-E-R in Keller's palm.
And I believe she got her PhD later that night.
Yeah.
Like she took to it fast.
And she did all of that hiding from the Germans, right, Corby?
Look, we all make mistakes.
Did you see the viral photo
Yes.
of the guy with the bumper stickers all over his car that says Helen Keller is not real?
Yeah, we have Helen Keller truthers now.
Yeah.
This guy in Denton.
I think there was one
I'm
that
familiar.
said she was a fraud.
Like, why would
Sniff
you
her out.
care enough to do that?
Don't know.
What if she was made up? Like,
Interesting.
how would that change the world right now?
It's just
I knew it.
I don't know.
some drunk guy's like, hey, there's this girl that couldn't see or hear. And
Yeah. What a bitch.
Well,
Like she
perfect.
made all
Oh,
A's.
cool.
Yeah.
I'd wipe
Is that
her
an
right
inspiration?
Right.
now. Would y'all talk about me behind my back if I showed up with a girl that was deaf and blind and mute?
No.
I'd be happy
No.
for you.
Like ticket
Yeah.
stock backstage.
Like
I
if
hand
she-
her a drink ticket.
She's like really
I would,
hot.
I would be like,
We wouldn't have to
he
talk
found
behind
his
her
dream
back.
girl.
Yes.
Is that the cycle?
No, the cycle is.
I hope she's not on that.
Deaf, dumb, blind with diarrhea.
But she's in pretty good shape.
Yeah.
I don't think
She does
diarrhea
Pilates.
is a
So
permanent
she'd have
trait.
to have a diaper.
Yeah.
In 1930, Mahatma
She got the
Gandhi
whole
and
package.
thousands of followers reached the sea at Dandi and boiled seawater to make illegal salt, ending his famous 200-mile salt march.
What did he think about it?
Man, that guy, he didn't have time to party a lot. He was always doing stuff that was, like, important.
Yeah.
Winning golf tournament.
Like, did he ever get to go to Fort Lauderdale for spring break?
No, he never went to Fort Lauderdale.
Wasn't doing
He
keg
didn't
stands.
have a lot of fun.
No.
This doesn't seem like a fun life.
He
Unfun.
didn't go to Myrtle Beach.
Yeah.
He wasn't manning a water balloon
He
rocket.
didn't stay at the flagship.
Like,
Never played Pinehurst.
did he ever
The
look
6-foot bong.
Did he ever look at the paper and say, "Oh, Maverick Bork, let's
I guess
go"?
we could ask
Bork.
him, hey, Gandhi,
Bork.
were you a big fan of the Stars?
I don't see him.
Oh. Yeah, Dave was looking around.
Oh,
yeah. I thought it was
Looks
part
like
of the
Dave
playlet, though.
Finally decided to look out for his career once in a change. Once in a while. In 1930, membership of Hitler Youth became obligatory.
So
that is correct. There it is.
Oh.
Just waiting for it.
In the year 1963, the lava lamp was invented.
63.
What's that?
Just in time for weed.
Pretty cool
Is that a game
invention,
changer?
man. It
Yeah,
still
man.
holds up.
Still pretty good.
Do
Yeah.
kids have those?
Yeah.
Surely they still sell them at Spencer's and
Is-
like Urban Outfitters.
Yeah, we
Is
have one.
Spencer's still a thing?
Yeah.
Sure.
Where else would you buy fake dog poop?
Or fart spray.
I'll never get rid of mine, bro.
Or a Bob Marley poster?
Pam Anderson.
Yeah.
In
She's hot.
1984, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar surpassed Wilt Chamberlain as the all-time leading scorer in the NBA.
Is that Kareem Abdul-Jabbar?
No, Kareem.
Oh,
So when did Jordan pass him?
See, he's Mike.
Yeah. There's no way anyone could break that record, though. That had to stand the test of time.
Yeah.
In 1987,
Although, my kid did bring up a very interesting point the other night after he told me to
that
shut
he
the
takes
F up.
possessions off- that he takes possessions off on defense?
He said, you know, Dad, if Luka continues this pace, he could pass LeBron in his late 30s. And he may be the only one capable of doing that. Just marinate on
as a
that.
Maverick.
5:30 Thursday. Bring you on.
I don't know about that one.
Oh, there he is.
Gandhi woke
He's a
up.
basketball fan.
We just had to speak his language. In 1987, Married with Children and The Tracy Ullman Show aired on Fox for the first time. Then they repeated both premiere episodes 2 more times in the same evening. Like, look,
Run it back.
it's pretty good. Just go ahead and keep it going.
Did The Simpsons, did they air in the very first Tracy Ullman show? Do you know, Ham?
Yes, as a short.
This is a short, yeah.
I know it was a short. I didn't know if it happened on the first one. Fellas.
Ooh.
Okay, all right, Corbs. Okay, man.
I was
be
alive
cool.
then.
It looked like it was drawn by Placenta Paul.
I'm sorry, who?
Polio Paul.
Placenta Paul.
They're very similar.
You're
things.
confusing Paul the Placenta and Polio Paul.
Yeah.
What was he trapped in?
Was he just stuck in his placenta
For
his
70
whole
years,
life?
he was just stuck in placenta.
But he also got his law degree.
Yeah.
In the
Attorney.
placenta.
Oh, my God.
But he drew the first Simpsons short with his mouth.
Placenta Paul. Yes.
There's another e-break for Dave. Perfect.
Oh, man.
In 1997,
He's a dynasty.
He really is. And I get to sit next to him.
in 1997, the Steve Irwin Show aired.
Urkel.
Greatness.
Right.
Yeah, that was the sound of the stingray.
Thanks, Lando.
He got the Lando approval.
Let's see what Bendy's up to.
And in 2017, a Pepsi ad featuring Kendall Jenner was pulled after it was criticized for trivializing demonstrations.
Oh, that's when everybody was about to fight in the street, and
And
then
yeah,
she
she
gave
handed
one
a-
of them a Pepsi, and
Oh,
then they all
yeah.
started dancing, and confetti cannons went off.
Turned into Barbie.
Did they just totally steal Have a Coke and a Smile? Is that what that was?
Pretty much.
It would seem that way.
Dang.
I mean, they've made their entire brand based on that concept, though, right? Because Coke is like the Beatles. Am I wrong here? Am I right here?
Cocaine? That's Eric Clapton.
Boy, a walk-off by Lando.
He did hit that hard, didn't he?
Mm-hmm.
Exit Velo.
That was good.
It was
That
good.
was pretty good.
Not good
I'm
enough
not
to
laughing,
laugh, but yeah,
it
it was good.
pretty
It was
good.
good.
Let's check StatCast and see what Lando
Yeah.
did there.
Whoa.
All right, we got one P1 birthday
114.
today. Hello, White Say Doesn't Suck. I'd like to wish my best friend Kyle Palmer, a.k.a. KP, a happy 50th birthday. His wife Jamie woke him up in that special way because she is a good V1 and knows the drill.
Did she?
His heroes are Corby and the hot dog vendor guy from the old ballpark in Arlington, R.I.P., Kyle is best known
Do we
for
know if
delaying
he's
his
dead?
son's birth.
I just
to
know he's
make
not
our
there.
fantasy football draft.
I mean, how old was he in the
He was
90s?
like 70.
You know, he was probably
No.
like
No,
he was
he
probably
was
like
no.
28,
He was like 40s, maybe.
Yeah. He was probably younger than we thought.
Yeah, but
Probably
all the
so.
time-
Did he go to jail for leaving the baby in the dumpster?
That wasn't what happened.
Although it is.
I heard that on the news.
Could he continue that
No.
pitch
Drop
into
a
his
question
70s?
back.
Like it's like Robert Plant trying to do Led Zeppelin. Right?
It's absolutely a short career. You just can't
I mean,
ruin your
eventually
body
he's
like
gonna have
that.
to eventually, he's going to have to mellow out and play bad music with Alison Krauss.
Yeah. God, it was such a beating though when he would plow down your aisle and you're like, please, just don't make eye
Don't
contact.
look at me.
Yeah.
You didn't
You
buy
say
hot
that
dogs
to
from
every
him?
person that is in the service industry, though.
True.
Unless they're hot.
I was
with
excited to
giant
buy
penis.
one of those.
All right, birthdays today. Singer Agnetha Falskog of ABBA, 74.
Why do they got so many weird names?
Because they're from over there.
Banger.
Dean Kamen is 73.
Superman.
Invented the Segway.
Oh.
Is he the guy that went off the cliff on a Segway?
He put the first chimpanzee on the Segway.
Yes.
That's why he invented it for chimpanzees. And then humans co-opted it.
Raise Rockies, Corby.
Turning 72
Sorry,
today,
Steve Oram.
Mitch Pileggi, who was in X-Files and The Sons of Anarchy.
Gonna need a tight 5 from you, Corby, on this opener in Denver.
How much?
Got batting champ Yandy Diaz leading off right now.
Don't look at the screen. Just start telling us about the game.
Well, it's 0-0.
Well, your thoughts going into it.
Oh, well now
We need
it's
you to set the
but
table.
Now that I know the score, it's like it's over.
Well, it's his first batter.
Oh.
I feel like we can still enjoy the game once you set the table for us.
No, it's like betting.
He really knows how to paint a picture, doesn't he?
It's like gambling. Once it starts, it's over. Game's
Right.
locked. You gotta
Yeah,
move
you
on.
can't bet
Give me
live
another
till
game though,
you
Bob.
Tough draw for Austin Gomber today.
It's kind of weird that the.
How about Reds Pirates? Let's go there.
Yeah, name one.
Name a red.
Oh man,
Pirate.
You know a red.
You know the most famous of all the Reds. There was a
Not
battle
Pete
about who
Rose.
discovered him.
Josh Hamilton.
Yeah, who was the rookie last year we were obsessed with?
Oh,
Every
that's
show was
right.
What's
fighting
his
about
name?
Chris Sable.
Isn't it kind of weird that the Tampa Bay Rays alternate jersey has an anus on it?
it. Yeah.
Yeah, that is kind of weird.
It's a
Dave.
fanatics issue.
It's like a torn one. It's not uniform.
Yeah, that one's been in like 500 movies.
Monty?
greatness.
Bob. Greg Mathis, the judge, is 64.
Judge Greg.
We have two big ticket-related music birthdays today. Turning 60, Christopher Kid Reed,
Let's go.
who regulated at Tckt.
Good
Also
dude.
turning 52 today, the man who talked about being came wave on wave, Pat Green.
Did Pat Green realize that he shared a birthday with Christopher Kid Reed?
Maybe
Two good
Probably.
P1s there.
Two very solid musical
Let's
P1s.
get in the lab. Put something together.
think
Matter of
His
fact,
parents-
they could probably have a good fight
knew.
on who was a bigger P1.
Yeah.
Now, Kid doesn't listen to the Musers very much because
Well, he's
West
still
Coast,
Well, no,
West
that's
Coast.
when he's getting home.
He says he gets home.
Oh,
and
that's
listens.
right. That's right.
Pharrell Williams
He
of
does
the
need to
Arby's
do
hat,
a
51,
He does need to do a verse on the next Pat Green record.
Yeah.
with Wade Bowen. Juicy J, 49. Sterling K.
another
Brown,
P1.
Another friend of the show.
the actor, 48.
Oh, I know this guy. Black dude.
Lily James is 35. Turning 38 today, the star of nearly 300 films. It's Jimi Hendrix's birthday.
I'm familiar.
By the way,
Hey,
the 2009 winner of Best Three-Way Sex Scene.
That is correct.
She was in movies such as What a Booty 4,
I think that movie's funny.
or as some Texas people call it, Water Booty 4.
Okay.
My Job is a
different
Pain in
movie.
the Ass.
Yeah. That would be a bad job.
Why is that?
This one's topical. She was in Ass Quakes.
Yeah, New York just had an earthquake, so for sure.
yeah.
Crack Her Jack 9.
What's the prize?
Three-Way or the Freeway.
Mm-hmm.
And Show Me the Money Shot.
I think that movie's funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one's hilarious.
Yeah, the
Lando.
Farrell brothers did that one.
Yeah.
DDP, Diamond Dallas Page is 68.
Diamond Cutter.
Steven Jackson, 46. Matt Bonner, 44.
Hated Steven Jackson.
Big Bonner.
Jeez.
Born on this Day Now Dead, Frank Gorshin, who played the Riddler.
Oh.
Colin Powell, Booker T. Washington, and Gregory Peck. Dead on this day, still dead.
Gregory Peck.
Captain Ahab.
We have Jim Marshall, who invented the amp.
And
There
the
he
wrong way touchdown, too.
Ferdinand A. Porsche, who invented the Porsche. Charlton Heston. Sam Walton.
My dear friend Charlton Heston.
Howard Hughes.
If anybody has the interview with me and Charlton Heston, I'll pay dearly for it.
Well,
He's got a lot of money. He's
You'll
worth
have to get it out of that
14 mil.
person's cold dead
there are so
hands.
many layers of cockiness in that request.
So damn
Good luck with today's show, fellas, because Down the Stay Still Dead. Kurt Cobain.
That was the subject of the song "Hey Man, Nice Shot."
3,
It's also the anniversary of Lane Staley's death. They died on the same day, different years.
Is that
still
Andy Daly's brother?
no Lane Staley, Alice in
Staley.
Chains.
That was a funny movie.
Yeah, Deuce's
and
brother.
you're done.